April the 4th, 2022. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium, a channel, and an intuitive life coach. I want to welcome you to the Monday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. Today, I have with me a collective called The Ascended, and they asked me to allow them to speak on the issue of overcoming substance abuse. And please understand, none of what you hear today is medical advice. Much of what they're going to be utilizing is coming from my own personal experience with substance abuse during my teen years, my young adult years, where I was lost in that game of emotional need and want and desire, where personally I had no control over what I wanted, but I certainly had a lot of needs. And I think when it comes to the issue of substance abuse, there are tens of millions of people around the world suffering from substance abuse. And I think it's a really misunderstood process. And there's lots of support in the world for it. But I'm going to let them speak and articulate more about it. But I just wanted to pretext it with that you must understand that I have personally gone through substance abuse for a fair portion of my teen years and my earlier adult years. So bear that in mind as we go into this. One of the first things they said to me with regards to substance abuse, it's actually not, it should not be labeled as substance abuse. It should be labeled as a strong and powerful desire to reconnect to one's true nature. Substance abuse is a substitution for one's desire to reconnect to their true nature, which is love. When each and every one of you came into this physical dimension, you were answering a call for love. You were answering a call for love. And every individual that came into this physical dimension came in response to a call for love. The nature of each and every one of you from the fundamental level of your creation is that you are love. That love is precisely what you are as a consciousness. Now, having come into a physical experience, a realm where there are beginnings and endings, a realm where there is what you call good and bad, what you call right and wrong, where this realm of polarity often forces you to choose between one thing or another, one person or another, one place or another. There is a plethora of choices that you are bound to make as you first come into this world. You have no knowledge of anything, and you depend upon the world around you to provide you with a framework of understanding who you are and what is your purpose here. Unfortunately, most of what this world is designed to do is to assist in physiology surviving. The nature of your body is that it is primarily geared to survival. That is it. It is only a mechanism for survival. It is not a mechanism for thriving unless you, as the awareness, are able to deliberately and intentionally align yourself back to your true nature. At the foundation of it all, it is important that you understand that all desire to seek sensation that empowers you to feel good about yourself, all sensation designed to empower you to feel good about yourself, can be misleading in that the nature of what makes you feel good or doesn't make you feel good does not originate from this world based on the nature of what you are. Many of you are disconnected from who you are, this vibrational consciousness that represents the nature of what you are, which is love. There is a frequency of love that each and every soul upon this planet arose from. You originated from this frequency of love, and you came into a physical dimension, which then pulled your attention away from where it was on your own being and brought you into examining and evaluating an external world of senses, of pain, of pleasure, of good, of bad, of right, of wrong. If you were raised in an environment that did not keep you connected to your nature, that is a proper evaluation and assessment of your true nature, which is love. if it did not keep you connected to that, then the tendency is to always return to that. Having been identified with being just a body, believing that you are just a body keeps you separated from understanding and knowing who and what you truly are. The body is an instrument that you utilize, and it feels good sometimes and it feels bad sometimes. And many of you base your identity and your sense of who you are on whether or not your body feels good or it doesn't feel good. But the body is merely the instrument that allows you to evolve and cultivate your consciousness through the experiential living of the 5 physical senses, but not to get lost in or encaptured or disassociated by them. When we say the word disassociated, we mean you forget that you are the awareness here to utilize matter, time, and space as creative ingredients for expressing your true nature, your creative consciousness into time and space. Finding yourself not feeling very good about yourself tends to direct many of you to find something in this world that will make you feel who you are again. One of the most profound ways of doing that is through physical intimacy, what you call sex. There is a process of vibration, a sensation of creative energy that occurs in the process of sensuality. There is a vibration in the process of sensuality that allows you to get connected very closely and intimately to the vibration of pure creation. The sensation of an orgasm, for example, that vibrational state, which is highly creative and facilitates the bringing into form new form. This vibrational experience is very intense and profound and aligns you as awareness back to or puts you in touch with that limitless power that can create anything, including human bodies, from within you and from within others. This sensation of the physical creative process is very, seductive, we might say, in that it feels extremely good, even for those who believe or think or are misled to believing there's something wrong with them or they cannot do something correctly. This sensation obliterates that. It removes that sensation of worthlessness if it's only for but a few seconds, as do substances that will make your body feel a certain way, give you an experience that your physical world is a certain way, a closer approximation from suffering to love. Even the sensation of certain substances, such as alcohol and these other things you call drugs, substances like these can give your body a sensation, give your awareness an awareness of a sensation that seems better than what you were experiencing before. But let us present this conception to you that in your seeking to experience pleasure through the body exclusively, you keep your attention focused away from who and what you truly are. You are distracted by the senses, disconnected from the nature of what you are as a perceiving consciousness, as an entity that is able to orchestrate and alter and change physical matter with a mere thought, with a mere image, with a mere idea. You as awareness can experience and induce changes into matter. Even a vivid imagining can cause you to stimulate changes in your biology. You can make your body feel incredible pleasure with a clear image held in your consciousness. Many of you seek to gain this from mechanisms such as television and music, where these things stimulate your senses in a certain way, and that vibration that you call pleasure from the body leads you to an awareness of your own true nature, which is love. Love is the ultimate experience vibrationally of your consciousness existing in time and space. The vibration of love is just that. When you get yourself aligned to that vibration of love consciously, you can forget your body. You can forget your mind. You can remember the bliss of who you are. From an emotional perspective, whenever one does not feel good, the tendency is to naturally move back towards what is evidently true, that you are love. Anything that diminishes or pulls your attention away from what you truly are has a tendency also of wanting to draw you back to that. Not having a proper mechanism or enough awareness of who you are makes it very difficult, can make it very difficult for you to remember what you are as a vibrational entity. Being lost in the sensation of the senses makes it very difficult for you to see and know the truth of who you are. We would not say that you are abusing substances. We would not say in truth that you are self-harming. We would simply say that you are in a process. You are in a process of remembering and connecting with who you truly are, but you are using the wrong mechanisms and process for achieving this. How then can you remember the true nature of what you are? How can you begin a process of remembering your own value as something that's independent of matter, time, and space? What is it you could give your attention to that is not in this world that would allow you to reconnect to your true nature, independent of your thoughts, independent of your memories, independent of your future concerns and considerations? Who are you? Who are you, the one that is aware of thought? Who are you, the one that is aware of body? Who are you that is aware of these certain emotions and feelings and passions and desire? Who is this awareness that you are? And from this perspective of awareness that can be mindful of itself independent of biology, what is that? Who art thou? Can you consider yourself as the awareness, the conductor of the body, not simply subjective to its sensations? Many of you believe that the reality of this world is that it is the only existence, but we would simply point out to you the very fact that the very nature of your awareness of thought, the very nature that you can be aware of thought, that you can be aware of memory, that you can be aware of future possibilities, that you as awareness can be aware of these things, indicates to a reasoning consciousness that you are then an observer, not one that is subjective to that which is being observed. The minute sensation, that vibration of sensation, dominates your awareness, you find yourself lost in sensation. Our goal is very simple today: to place in your consciousness but one single awareness, that any and all desire to experience pleasure for the sake of pleasure in and of itself facilitates a disassociation from the nature of who you are as a vibrational and creative entity, here to orchestrate and induce changes into the expression of time, space, and matter. That you, as awareness, have the innate ability, by nature of what you are, to structure and create and manifest changes in time, space, and matter. Again, the root of this is that many of you seek to pursue the highest experience of acquiring pleasure because you're disconnected from the awareness you have of who you truly are, that your true nature is love. If you but glimpsed this idea, considered this possibility that your true nature, independent of your thoughts, independent of what the world has said to you, independent of anything your senses have been telling you, that you are love, a creative intelligence able to induce changes in thought, in memory, and emotion. And from that perspective of awareness, you can begin to differentiate between the desire of matter and the awareness of self, which facilitates the liberation from your attachment to being directed exclusively by your physical senses. You will begin to find liberation from your suffering when you begin to remember that your suffering is not who you are. Much of the suffering that you may be experiencing has more to do with what you have been told to believe is real, the information, the knowledge that you've acquired from this world that indicates to you that one reality is true or not true. And in some respects, that may seem to be true from the perspective of experiential awareness through the body alone, but it is not true in the essence of who you truly are. Who you are is a vibrational entity of love that came into a physical medium of expression to articulate a unique gift that you're here to offer to this creation of life you call the world. Each and every one of you came with a unique offering in response to a call for love. Raised in the realm of sensations, where your body seems to transcend or overwhelm what you perceive yourself to be, it can be very difficult sometimes, because in this realm there are certain things in your biology that feel extremely good, but the vibration of sensation is not to be used as a form of definition for who you truly are. Who you truly are is to give definition and expression to the form. So when you find yourself wanting to experience more good from the world, whether it is through substances, alcohol, or drugs, or certain foods, or certain things, you want to get a sensation of feeling a certain way in your biology, is very different than experiencing an awareness of what you truly are, and to no longer be subjected to that, to begin to move your awareness back to the truth of who and what you are as this vibrational consciousness of love. You are not your thoughts. You can observe them. You are not your emotions. You can observe them. You are not your biology. You can observe it. You can be aware of sensation. You can be aware of urge. You can be aware of thought. You can be aware of memory. You are the awareness that is able to function independent of these other components that you have while you're in this physical dimension. Coming to this understanding, coming to the understanding that you are not the urge, you are not the body, you are not the thought, you are the awareness. Coming to that understanding, the question then becomes, if I am not these thoughts, if I am not these emotions, if I am not this body, then who am I? This question can be answered in one single sentence. You are love. That is your true nature. And the definition of love that you have gained from this world is very different than the definition of what you are as a being. The knowing of what you are, independent of your thoughts, independent of your emotions, independent of your biology, to become aware of this facet of yourself, then returns you to that place of the creative offering that you came here to bring to the world. For what the world has told you you are is very different than what you actually are. And much of what you believe about what the world has told you is in contrast to who you are. Much of what this world is about survival. Much of what's in this biological mechanism, in these thoughts that you have, is about survival, the existence of the body to continue without threat or harm to it. Whereas you are not based in the survival of the mechanism. You are based in a creative influence over it. In other words, you can assert a creative influence over body via thought. Thought also is not something you are subjected to. It is something that you can utilize, alter, change, and restructure so that your creative expression through the body changes. When you are able to deliberately and intentionally orchestrate changes in your thoughts, in your memories, in your emotions, you become very aware that you are no longer just a collection of thoughts that form a personality, identity that you believe that you are. The name of the body is not the name that you have. And it is our simple hope today that you come to an awareness that any desire for pleasure in this world, to acquire pleasure from this world, we're not saying that this is wrong, but to acquire pleasure from this world in an attempt to gain a better sense of who you are, is an error in perception. That the truth of what you are as a vibrational consciousness of love, here to articulate a creative expression in response to a call for love, is more effective in beginning to formulate or reformulate your identity individually and creatively through that body, through that mechanism that you've been gifted while you were in this physical dimension. we want to speak of several things that sensation does. The sensation of your senses is very acute and designed to assist your body in surviving. That is what's designed to do. The body survives because the senses allow it to be aware of the environment, the external world. You, as awareness, can appraise what information the senses are giving to you, but simultaneously, you may provide information to the senses that alter the way the world affects it. The way you can re-articulate your thoughts, the way you can articulate creation in your mind can literally transform, transmute, and assist you in overcoming and no longer being subjective to the demands of the senses exclusively. And all substance abuse is based on an exorbitant demand of the senses to experience pleasure, or what you might call a vibration of love at a very fundamental level. The desire to experience pleasure is ultimately based in the desire to reconnect to the vibrational nature of your true value, what you really are as a consciousness, as an entity that has come into a physical embodiment to express creatively in this dimension that is time, space, and matter. To overcome these things, one must begin a process of looking inward, taking your attention away from the demand of your senses, to pull your awareness back from the senses, to go inwardly, gently inwardly, to begin to step back even from your thoughts, to step back even from your memories, to step back from past life, to step back from this world, to go back into repose within yourself in this moment. In the moment where there is no thought, where there is no emotion, where you are simply being, awareness, being, there is a liberation that begins to occur between yourself and the senses. A new awakening begins to unfold where you start to differentiate yourself from subjectively of the matter. You no longer seem just as a body. You are now an awareness with a mind that you are able to quiet. When you experience this position in consciousness where you can establish silence in your mind again, stillness in your body, in that place you begin to reconnect to and remember your true nature, which was not intended to be defined by this world, for this world was here to receive from you the gift you were going to offer it. But understand, the moment you move your awareness into that place where you begin to differentiate your awareness from the constructed personality that you find yourself living in, the moment you begin that consideration that I am not these thoughts, I am not these emotions, I am not these sensations. The sensations are of my body. The emotions are relations to my thoughts and memories, and I am not those. The very nature of that awareness, that consideration of that begins to pull you away from subjectivity to the body, subjectivity to thought, this movement in your consciousness. And all substance abuse, whether it is an inordinate form of eating substances such as sweets and sugars or things that harm and destroy your biology prematurely, substance abuse can be in many a form. But once you begin to distinguish your awareness from the body, from the thoughts, from the memories, from the emotions, you begin to remember the nature of what you are as an awareness. From that position in your consciousness, can you begin to assert new ideas, new information that are exclusively of your own choosing, to bring them into your mind, to embody a new self into this world, other than the self that has been given to you by your environment. For many of you are living in a personality that was not formed by you, but formed by your environment. And once you make that distinction between your thoughts and your awareness, your emotions and your awareness, your biology and your awareness, once you begin to make that distinction, then you move into the position where self-determination, self-creation begin to become actualities. That distinction between thought and awareness, emotion, awareness, biology and awareness, that distinction in your consciousness begins to move you away from the subjectivity that many of you find yourself struggling with through biology, through thought, through memory, through emotion. And very large numbers of you have a difficult time distinguishing between your emotions. You know that certain things feel bad and you wish not to feel bad, so you find something that makes you have the sensation of feeling good. And many of you experience the senses as the source of only pleasure. You experience your senses as the place where you will get pleasure from. But in reality, if you are true love, are you not the ultimate pleasure, the very nature of what you are? And how then do you align to that as an awareness? Biology allows you to experience the physical world as it is. Your awareness allows you to experience your consciousness as you are. You are a vibration of love in your true nature. It is not something you can acquire from this world, for you already possessed it when you came into it. You are a vibrational extension of love. And although these words may be difficult for some of you to accept at this point in time, we can assure you, if you are able to turn your thoughts and your memories and your emotions off for but a few minutes and just to be aware, there is a peace that occurs that you become aware of, a peace that occurs when you can turn your thoughts off, when you quiet and mute the mind, the emotions, place the body in a state of abeyance, where you are then able to just simply be awareness, being aware, independent of thought, independent of memory, independent of future considerations, and yes, even independent of the body, where the body and mind then become servants rather than masters for your consciousness. The moment you have this awakening, the moment you become aware that you are not your thoughts, that you are not your memories, that you are not your emotions, that these are simply creative ingredients that you can utilize in the process of creation while in a physical dimension of time and space, then the journey of creation, the remembering of who you are, begins at that point. The moment you realize you are not your thoughts, you are not your memories, you are not your emotions, you are awareness. You can utilize the thoughts, the memories, the emotions that you currently possess, alter and change them, and create a whole new self. If you so choose to do that, you can select and choose new thoughts, new ideas, which will create new emotional energies, will allow you to express very differently through your biology than you may be currently expressing at this time. To overcome all abuse of substance, one must first become aware of who you are as an awareness. But we can say this again as a truth. The nature of what you are is a vibrational consciousness that we define as love, which is the limitless, infinite capacity to create unrestrictedly in the process of being. To know that you are love liberates you from all fear. The only way to know that you are love is to step away from all fear, to step away from all thought, to step away from all memory and emotion, to recall that you are love right now, to be this as it is now. In order to do this, teach your mind to be still, your body to be quiet. On a more practical level, we would offer simple things that your body may need in order to recondition your body to work for you. Practical things like ensuring that you have substances that you can put into the body that raise its vibration up, where you are consciously and deliberately placing into this body elements that are supportive and life nurturing for it. There are things that your body needs that if it does not get them, the vibration of the form goes down. When the vibration of your body goes lower, it begins to suffer, and in its suffering, it seeks to find relief. And much of that suffering can be relieved artificially through certain foods, through certain substances that give the body a sensation of feeling good, but often only temporarily. Sensation, the pleasure of the senses, is very temporary. The nature of what you are is eternal. But there are certain things you can do for your biology that will facilitate the raising of your physical vibration to come closer to approximating the nature of what you are, to allow you to be in greater harmony and resonance with your body. In order to do that, you must become conscious and aware that you are able to direct thought, direct the actions. Yes, the compulsions, the desire to experience pleasure is profound. At its root is the desire to experience your true nature, which is love. At the root of all seeking of pleasure is the desire to reconnect to the truth of your nature, that you are love. Except that you cannot find that nature in biology, for biology is simply an instrument that you utilize. You cannot find that vibration of love in the thoughts that the world has given you. You have to create ideas and thoughts in your mind that represent that vibrational frequency of love. The nature of what you are is such that you can induce changes in thought. You can induce changes in emotion. You can induce change vibrationally in your body from the perspective of your being. Yes, the very first thing to consider is to look and ask this question: who are you? What are you? Love is what you are. Your body, your mind are instruments that you utilize while you are here expressing yourself or learning to express yourself creatively in this physical dimension. Much of what the world has given you to believe about yourself is not true. Much of what the world has given you to believe about yourself is not true. But what you are in your essence is true, and you can experience that. Close your eyes and your ears, rest your body, quiet your mind, and you will begin to feel who you are again. Yes. Good morning, everybody. Hi, good to meet you. Now, from my own personal experience, it was a long journey moving away from substance abuse. When I finally made the connection between that I could actually create feelings, I could actually deliberately create my own emotional energy, that's when I began to move away from some of the things I was dealing with physically, like alcohol and drugs that I was dealing with younger. When I began to realize I could change and alter my thoughts, that was a big turning point for me. When I realized I could alter and change my thoughts, I could alter and change my body. And if you can learn that, I can assure you, you'll step away from that. Hello, Jacqueline. Hello, Faradiba. Question from Adam. Can I ask Pan on if it's true that the properties of an individual's light body is responsible for one's sexuality or not? If so, how does the properties of the light body cause attraction? Yes, the body in and of itself has certain natural components for sustaining and perpetuating creation. You may call it the process of creation, or sensation is a fundamental root for connecting back to your true nature. But you, as awareness, as soul, do not require a body and a mind to know of your own existence, although many of you utilize your mind and body as mechanisms for getting back to that awareness. The light body, as you call it, is a vibrational frequency that, when brought into contact with matter, creates an attractive and repelling force, an electromagnetic field of positive and negative energy. Your body is polarized, not because the body in and of itself is polarized. Your body is polarized with light of positive and negative energy, what you call a field of light, that once you are in the body, that polarity, that attractive force of positive and negative exists throughout the lifetime of that body. Your capacity as a soul, the moment you leave the form, you draw that energy with you and the form ceases to exist. When you, as an awareness, as a soul, leave that body, when your awareness departs from the form, this attractive and repelling energy ceases to function through that biology that you're currently existing in. Wow. Thanks for that question, Adam. Um, question from Mary. Would I be safe if my sons, despite it bringing me in contact with their father? I'm getting, Mary, I don't know, but I'm getting a strong no for that at this time. That process needs to be done very, very gradually. Yes. Again, I don't know who this is, but they're saying it needs to be done very gradually. Don't just jump right in. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Question from Carolyn. From your perspective, what is the quickest way to transform a vibration to love in our physical environment? Again, if you're seeking to transform vibration in this world, you must understand the nature of what you are. To align to your true nature, to align to your understanding of love as a vibrational constituent of what you are. What you are is love. To get into alignment to that vibrational awareness, then to take this vibrational awareness, bring it down into form and emanate it through the body. You can emanate it as a vibration in and of itself, but you can simultaneously use it creatively through such things as writing and music and art and dance. There are many ways you can use this vibration of love, but you are love. And any one of you that chooses to consider that possibility that I am love, even in the statement of considering that possibility, you begin to reawaken your connection to your true nature. The nature of that vibration is such that it induces change in matter almost instantaneously. The moment you align to a certain emotional quality, even if you align to an emotional quality that you call anger, if you bring your awareness to anger, then you find yourself angry. If you bring yourself to an awareness of joy, you can find yourself in joy. Many of you find yourself subjective to the senses dictating what you will feel or not feel. That something sounds good or something tastes good or something smells good, then you find yourself lost in that. But the moment you begin to vibrationally align yourself to the possibility that you are love, there is an immediate change that begins to happen in the matter of your body, in the matter of space and time around your body. Just as it does when you're in anger or fear, it causes changes in events, circumstances in time and space. But you are love. When you begin to embody yourself in the flesh deliberately, you begin to induce a change. You begin to induce a change in matter almost instantly. It's not a matter of knowing how, it's a matter of knowing that it does. The moment you know that the vibration of love, when you align yourself to it, begins to induce changes in matter. The minute you align yourself to a vibration of fear and know that it's inducing change in matter, you reawaken to your creative capabilities. It's important to understand this, that you are doing this all of the time, whether you are aware of it or not. All of the time, you are creating. You cannot escape that. You are always creating. Question from Nancy. Will there be an end to the distribution of dangerous drugs that keep people addicted? No. It is important you understand that the biology that you have has certain functions in it that lets it know something is good or not good. You, as the awareness in your process of development, must learn to discern, to remember, to recall who you are as something that is independent of and directing of matter. In other words, mind and body are meant to be your servants, not your master. There will always be substances in this world that will give your body the sensation of pleasure, the sensation of pain. There will always be those substances. But it's for you as the awareness, as the beautiful soul that you are, to recognize that you can independently orchestrate change over mind and body, and therefore your experience of this world around you. It wouldn't be much fun if it was already done. What fun would you have if you could not gain significance through your actions creatively in this world? You are a creator. How can you know you are creating if you do not experience choice? Choice gives you an understanding to differentiate between what the effects are of one creative expression versus another. But remember, your mind and your body are your servants and not your master. Thank you, Nancy. Question from Daniela. Young children that don't experience the expression of love yet feel connected to the spirit world are lost between reality and the divine, being declared as unrealistic. Any help of rescue? The only way that you can truly assist others is to truly understand your nature from the perspective of your being vibrationally. Vibrationally, it's important you understand that you can provide an environment for these young dear ones that is vibrationally as close to love as possible, while simultaneously reminding them, walking them through processes that give them the awareness of self as love and not the self that is defined by this world. And many of you suffer because of the definition the world has given you. And yet you do not realize you can surrender that definition and create a brand new one. Many of you do not realize you can alter the definition of yourself that is in your mind. The existing definition in your mind of who you think you are can be altered by you. So you do not have to accept who the world is telling you to be or not to be. You can define who you will or will not express yourself as being. A vibration of love. Wow, thank you. Great question. Question from Vertical. What are the consequences of drinking strong coffee on an empty stomach without solid food? Yes. Okay. Well, I can address that personally myself. It's, first of all, caffeine isn't one of the most prolific amphetamines on the planet right now. It's readily available for everybody. It's a diuretic. It forces the body to lose liquids. On an empty stomach, they're just saying it's not good. It's not good. Never drink substances like that. Again, you're seeking sensation. They're saying if you keep trying to seek a sensation from this world that will give you a better definition of yourself than the one you already have, you will find yourself struggling. Please understand that anytime you seek a substance that is going to give you a perception of yourself that is better than the one that is already true, you will find yourself confused and struggling and suffering. Eventually, any substance, whether it is what you call coffee or sugar, anything that would be a substitution for getting an approximate value of yourself from this world, will be a disturbance to you. Anytime that you seek to find a better you from a substance, you will be disappointed. You are the better you. Your choices, and many of you, if you understood, don't even need food if you understood the reality of what that is. Wow. Thank you for that, Vertical. You're welcome. Question from JC. Does my nephew have the ability to recover from his addiction, or is this his chosen karmic path? It is important that you understand that the desire and belief that pleasure can only be experienced through the body, that one's sense of good or evil can only be experienced through the body, is where the confusion exists. Anytime one in a process of addiction begins to consider that they are not the body, that they are the awareness that is able to orchestrate changes in it, to begin to assert authority over it, they lose subjectivity to those very substances that give them a sensation of false being, that there is no pleasure of the body greater than the pleasure of your own being. Wow. Yes. So he can absolutely. The minute he begins to shift away from the definition of self as being, this stuff makes me feel who I really am, because that's ultimately what they say. Most addiction is based on the belief that something can make me feel like I am who I am, like I'm the best me. All forms of addiction are the fundamental root is something's going to make me feel like I really can be the best me I possibly can. But the reality is we are our best selves. The minute you begin to awaken to who you are, you start to realize, I am my best self. And that is a bit of work. I got to say, from my own personal experience, it's quite a bit of work. but it's well worth it. When you begin to remember who you are, it's well worth the journey. And yes, your nephew, there's resources, but once help him to distinguish between his body and himself. The minute he realizes his body's desire for pleasure isn't the same as his desire for happiness. They're not the same, right? A lot of people substitute physical pleasure for happiness, and it's not the same thing. Great question. Got one more time for one more question today from Jana. What is the best way and location to center ourselves in the body? They're saying you're already centered in the body. That's the problem many of you have. You think the body is your center, and yet your body is something that you actually encompass and embrace with your consciousness. Too many of you think that your body is your center. Close your eyes, close your ears, put that body in stillness, and you'll come closer to understanding what you are in your own center of being, that you contain within yourself that body, you contain within yourself those thoughts, you contain within your awareness memories. You are not them, they are contained within you. Wow, thank you, Jana. Great question. Yeah, they absolutely do. People, you have to make a choice that, again, for me personally, it was a difficult journey. But getting to the awareness, I would say the single most important thing was realizing that I was not my thoughts. For me personally, realizing my thoughts were not who I am. My memories did not define me. Who I was something very separate and distinct from them. That, yes, and the idea that I am love. Love is what I am. And ultimately, when you get to an understanding of it and begin to consider a new value for yourself, it will really change your life. Like I said, I don't want to go into too much detail about it. Just trust what they've said. Like really getting back to the truth of who you are. You are love. It is what we all are. The body is an instrument. It's not who you are. Getting pleasure from the body is a beautiful thing sometimes, but it's not to be used as the source of your identity. It's to be used creatively for you to express yourself here. The body is an instrument that we are here to utilize as an instrument of expression, so that you can express your vision, your view, your creative consciousness through. You're not your body. Your body is something you have. You're not your thoughts. Thoughts are just information you've acquired from this world, and you can alter and change them when you wake up. And I guess for me, that was really powerful. Knowing that I'm the thinker, not my thoughts. I'm the feeler, not my feelings. Probably the most powerful statement for me. You are the thinker, not your thoughts. You are the feeler, not the feelings. You have a mind, you have a body, but you are not them. They are instruments that you are here to learn to use. I want to wish you all much love. I want to thank the Ascended for coming by today. And I want to let you know also on this Wednesday, April the 6th, I have the Divine Collective coming in, and we're going to be discussing emotions and relationships. And this is really powerful. Emotions and relationships, and that's going to be on Wednesday, April the 6th. This Friday, April the 8th, it's going to be on making some fun, and we're going to have the fairies coming through. I haven't seen the fairies since I was in Newfoundland, so it's going to be on making fun. So that'll be this Friday, so I hope you'll join me on Friday with the fairies, and have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day, and I will see you on Wednesday. Bye for now.